the obvious, probably the biggest move of the offseason, which is basically swapping out Jakobi Meyers for JuJu Smith-Schuster from the Chiefs, longtime Steeler. I heard you on Ross Tucker's podcast talk a little bit about this, but what kind of player is Smith-Schuster at this point in time? And do you think he's an upgrade over Myers for what the Patriots do?
I do think he's an upgrade. The big question with Smith-Schuster is health, and can he be durable and play a full season? That's always a big question. So I don't want to act like that's unimportant, because obviously it is important. But I think when you look at what Smith-Schuster is, what he's been essentially since he came out of USC, when he was thought of highly, and I remember watching him then, he had some great years with the Steelers, caught over 100 balls. He was obviously a meaningful factor for the Chiefs in their Super Bowl season a year ago. He's big, he's physical. I think most probably see him more as a slot, but he can work outside. So I think he does give you the inside-outside flexibility, Greg. And he's a big man. So to me, and again, it's not as if Smith-Schuster's a 10 and Jakobi Meyers is a 2. But I think if you were really just evaluating the individual player, and there's always more to it, as you know, than just the individual player. There always is. But I think if you were just evaluating the traits of the individual player, you would say that JuJu Smith-Schuster is a better receiver than Jakobi Meyers.
The Greg Bedard Patriots Podcast is brought to you by FanDuel. Sign up at FanDuel.com/Boston and make every moment more on America's #1 sportsbook.
Yeah. I tend to agree with you. One thing I wanted to ask you, and it's always hard to tell. I mean, you and I are both film guys at heart, but when we watch certain players, it's amazing. You get at least a feel for, how smart a guy is and how he either runs his routes, manipulates coverage, settles into zones. It seems to me, and I haven't watched a ton of film on Smith-Schuster, that, and always with the Patriots, and we assume they're going back to the old Patriot system with Bill O'Brien back in here, which hasn't worked for a lot of veterans. But from what I've seen on film, it looks like Smith-Schuster's a pretty smart guy. Yep. Would you concur with that?
Yeah, I would. And at his best, he's physical, because don't forget, he's pretty big. He's physical. He can work the middle of the field. And not that Jakobi Meyers can. I think Jakobi Meyers could as well. But I think that element is really, really important when Mac Jones is your quarterback, the ability to work the middle of the field effectively. And I think, that's something that they probably really looked at when they signed Smith-Schuster, because the way in which he plays, there's a physical element to his game, and there's a run after catch element to his game that I think is clearly better than Jakobi Meyers.